right, Evan Ginzburg back with another edition of Evan Ginzburg's Legends TV with my co-host, poet John Winnell. Who's on the T-shirt, John?
Well, I guess I'll
It's a
stand
ritual we do here.
like I always do. I decided to wear Brian Wilson again because I just needed cheering up. So here's for the audience. I just actually the two of us. So just saw Brian recently doing the tour with the complete Pet Sounds.
That's right.
Up at the Beacon, and now I think they're on break, and then they're going to Europe, and then they're coming back again. I think in the spring, but not.
Where do you rate Pet Sounds among the greatest albums of all time? Where do you rate it?
In the top 10.
Top 10.
Yeah.
What's Going On, number 1. Songs Like Key of Life, number 2.
Well, those are also in my.
Some people flip that.
In the top 10 songs and What's Going On.
And our very special guest today, movie director, John DePriest Anthony.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
John meet John, John meet John, and you guys match, which is very important.
We're like,
we're like a boy band here.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, right. Why we're white if we would wear black all the time, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Black goes with everything.
Oh, yeah, that's what us goths are made out of, you know what I'm saying?
There you go.
All black, you know?
There you go.
And purple and gray, you know?
So, your film is called Parasitic, which is a sci-fi epic, and tell us a little about it.
Well, as CEO and founder of Archetype Cinema, we had this idea.
Where did you get the name from?
Oh, Parasitic?
No, Archetype.
Archetype Cinema. Well, a long time ago, I was doing a lot of research, and I had to come up with a name for a new studio, new production company name, and what happened was I was looking at some names where I was just like, I need something that's going to be more individual, more like a universal thing. So
Right.
I developed an archetype.
Okay.
And so archetype just came to mind, saying that, you know, a creative style where you can create things of your own nature. You know, I feel like as a filmmaker, you know, and as an actor, you can be creative whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I feel that you have the ability to get on a stage and say, you know what, I have the power to get on stage to perform, and I can close the curtain or open the curtain.
So you're a director, an actor, a producer.
Yes.
What else? What are we missing? Editor.
Editor,
Yeah.
a lover, a warrior.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. No, but what happened was that I directed a few other films. I starred in a few others as well, and then over 2 years ago, we decided to create a new series called Fractured Dimension Stage 1. We're starting to get on the band kick of the, you know, like what Marvel Studios doing, this Marvel Cinematic Universe, and what DC Comics are doing. So we decided to make our own universe called Fractured Dimension Stage 1, which is a series of films which all will lead into this big, huge finale.
A lot of poets live in fractured dimensions.
They sure do, yeah.
Yes.
Right, John? You're a poet yourself also,
Sure,
right?
why
Yeah.
not?
So what happened was that a friend of mine, which is this, you know, kind of a sad tale, he came up with this idea for Parasitic, you know, the story. And there's a lot of zombie films that were out there and stuff like that, and it took some time. I said, well, let's try to do something different.
Right.
So why don't we do an alien?
So let me stop you right there. So I'm a fan of zombie films, going back to George Romero, Night of
There
the
you go,
Living
yep.
Dead, Dawn of the Dead, except Lucio Fulci,
Oh, wow, okay.
Zombie, etc., so on. Big fan of The Walking Dead.
Well, the earlier, the Bela Lugosi,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely,
Absolutely,
going
yeah.
way back. White Zombie, going all the way
All the
back. To our childhood. No,
That's
I'm
right,
kidding.
that's right.
I'm kidding. But, so here's the thing. A zombie movie, there's a built-in market at this point. You're
absolutely.
almost guaranteed some kind of distribution, some kind
Oh,
of
for sure, yeah.
attention. But it's a glut. It's an endless glut. And it's a dime a dozen at this point. So you kind of have this decision to make. Okay, zombie movies will get seen, but at the same time, I want to do something better and different.
Absolutely, and
So
that's
tell
where
us about that.
and that's where the idea came in. Okay, and I'll never forget. I was at a restaurant with some friends of mine, and all of a sudden I'm saying in the back of my mind, I'm saying, how am I going to make Parasitic different? Because you have you have all these TV shows now and movies, and that all have something with zombie.
And it's hard to top The Walking Dead.
Exactly,
You know,
and
the
it's-
quality, the budget.
The budget, and then
Yeah.
of course you got Resident Evil. You got all these big type.
I wasn't that impressed with the
You
Resident
wasn't-
Evil. No, it's
A lot of top A lot of top actors in that.
Yeah, but it's kind of like cartoonish. Walking Dead, you actually,
Yeah.
oh my God, they killed Glenn. Yeah.
And no, so what happened was, I saw a waitress, and she dropped an egg. It was on an like an Easter Sunday type thing, and the thing cracked, and all of a sudden I'm like, there you go. So I figured, why don't I, rather than making an epidemic plague like every single zombie film is, have where something comes from outer space of an unknown origin that lands on Earth, and whoever touches that egg, or I call it an orb or whatever, that once you touch that, whatever's attached to that is like a parasite.
And it's interesting you say that because in the media recently, they said they've heard signals from faraway galaxies.
Absolutely, yeah.
They can't.
Send more Chuck Berry, that's it.
Yes, they can't prove it yet, but
Right.
they are considering the fact that it could be intelligent life.
Oh yeah.
So how do you guys feel about this? The possibilities.
Well, if it is, would they be, I mean, who was it, Stephen Hawking said they'd be so advanced that we wouldn't stand a chance, but, so let's hope if they are out there, they don't come anywhere near us, or maybe.
Well, maybe they're friendly.
Or maybe we're so undeveloped, they'll say, yeah, leave them alone.
They'll see the Kardashians and Donald Trump and flee in terror. Let's go back.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm not too worried. See, my theory is this, and believe me, I'm no scientist, but anywhere there's water, there should be some kind of life.
Absolutely.
I mean, so just logically, you would, if we came from water, then
Oh, yeah.
why couldn't there be life somewhere else?
Right, I
and it's
mean-
almost egotistical to say there's nothing anywhere else. It's only us.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, half of America are morons. I mean, come on. It's only us.
Yes, and I look at it this way: you have an infinite amount of space in the universe, and all that. It would be, and you got, they say Google beyond the trillions and trillions of galaxies that are out there. I doubt that we're just the only ones here, and we're just in this big, we're the only ones in civilization in this big void that.
Yeah, it's nice to know, or to think it's possible, but, to go back to scaring it. I mean, Orson Welles, you mentioned Citizen, I don't know.
I just saw Citizen Kane the other day on the
nice.
large screen, and that's the height of human achievement.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, not reality TV.
But his War of the Worlds scared
Oh,
the
yeah.
Mercury Theater, which
That's right.
is where that stuff came from. Citizen, all those actors were in the Mercury Theater. They scared the hell out of people.
Oh,
They
yeah,
actually
absolutely.
thought it was happening.
Yeah.
So, people have always thought, and certainly all those great movies, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which
Absolutely.
was one of my old, I like the original better than the
The
remake.
Donald Sutherland one was good also.
Good, but not as good
Yeah.
as the original. Because I've seen them both together.
Donald Sutherland's kind of scary looking.
Yeah, that was scary, but not as good. And who was it? Leonard Nimoy was in the remake too.
That's right.
But not as good as, I didn't think as good as the original, which was scary as.
Nimoy's son just did a documentary on him.
Oh, did he? Oh.
Speaking of good documentaries, I just saw Weiner on Anthony Weiner. That is a great
Oh,
documentary.
is it? I have to check that out.
Riveting.
That's
Riveting.
really great, yeah.
Yeah.
The name alone is,
Well, they mentioned that there's an irony that's his name.
that's right.
So getting back to Parasitic, why don't we show the
Yeah,
trailer
absolutely, yeah.
first?
Okay.
Okay, Tom, let's show the trailer to Parasitic.
They came here because you put out an ad asking for drug addicts to come in and make money as part of a rehabilitative research program. Some came for flu vaccines, others just desperate for money to survive. You chose the ones with the least attachment so nobody would ask any questions.
Containment Protocol Number 1. Avoid all contact with the infected.
too many. I've had too many.
All right, and we are back, and that is Parasitic, and very impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
Very impressive.
Looks like it was shot well, yeah.
We'd like to acknowledge the cast, not one of whom were willing to come here and do publicity today, you know? So they have their priorities straight.
Oh, yeah.
This show is seen in 204 countries, by the way, so.
Oh, nice.
So I
Yeah.
think whatever they're doing is far more important,
Oh,
and
yeah.
thanks for supporting the film.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
you know, from a director standpoint, a lot of them have families, a lot of them, are.
Just
you know,
once say no to the kids, I have
Yeah,
something else to do.
exactly. Yeah, right.
Come on.
Well, they could have taken the kids with them, they could
No,
have
yeah.
sat in the.
No, absolutely, yeah. A lot of them are, a lot of them are musicians, or they just couldn't make it today because it was, they just.
Because they don't get up early on Saturday morning.
Yeah, exactly.
I know the
yeah.
story.
Absolutely, but
This falls under the banner of no excuses.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Support the movie that you're in,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
out and publicize it. All right, so that's my speech for today. That's
There you
okay. All right.
But no, but we, the guy with the 7, that's that you saw on the back of his head, the tattoo with the 7.
Yeah, John has that also.
No, there you
I
go.
have a 5.
You have a 5, okay. The character 7, he's a character in Parasitic that is a time traveler that travels through different dimensions and parallel worlds, and what he's trying to do is trying to correct the timeline. That is, when we talk about Parasitic is an orb that comes from an alien origin that is so powerful that what it's doing is it's disrupting all the fabrics of space and vasting this huge thing of dimensions that are opening.
Oh.
So the character 7, you saw the guy with the tattoo on the 7, is the one that's kind of putting together this team to go in there and to, confiscate this orb, because that is so powerful that 7 needs that orb. And,
Wow.
I don't want to reveal too many stories.
Tell us the ending. Who dies at the end? No, I'm kidding.
Everyone.
Don't you hate that?
So where is it gonna be shown?
Yeah, you have a big premiere coming up.
Yes, the premiere is happening on Saturday, November 19th at the LCB.
Oh, coming right
That's
up.
in Bridgeport, Connecticut, 2790 Fairfield Avenue.
Okay.
Doors open at 7:30. The admission is $10. We're also going to have a couple band acts too as well.
Really?
Yes. So one is going to be the character 7. His name is J.R. Hedrick. He's also directing a film called Coven that I'm starring in, which is also part of the Fractured Dimension Stage 1. We just are currently filming that as of
So
right
tell
now.
us about your acting.
Well, acting,
But you have a unique look. I just want to say something. I was associate producer on The Wrestler,
Okay.
and I've worked on various films, and we have some documentary projects coming out very shortly. And blonde hair, blue eyes, gorgeous. It's a dime a dozen. It's a dime a dozen. And when somebody has a unique look, as you do, there's work out there.
oh yeah.
And this is what people don't realize. The perfect-looking male model types with the six-pack of abs, that's a dime a dozen. So there is work out there for you.
Oh, absolutely,
And so tell us a little about some of your acting experience.
Okay, I started in 2 films. One of them was called Goth Child, and Goth Child Recreation Begins was based on a musician serial killer.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to portray a Ukrainian accent. So this person was foreign, and when this guy was totally 100% gothic, and it was like a gothic type film. Film took place in the 90s, and what happened was it talked a lot about spiritual possession, that this musician wanted it all, and then eventually a demonic goddess came to him and say, well, you can have everything you want, except there's one thing you have to wear, though. You gotta wear a guy liner.
Yeah.
Which is guy liner for men, you know what I'm saying? So, and with this, you can have anything you want. The only thing is you gotta sleep with your groupies, you gotta kill them, and you gotta appease the blood of, of the goddess, you know what I'm saying? So, it was a totally campy type film.
John dated a few demonic goddesses.
There you go.
And they tried to sacrifice me.
That's
No, there you go. And so what what happened was after that we did that one, then we did a second one which was called Recreation Begins, which kind of took more of a serious tone based on this character. And then I also did the voice of a film called Death Mask World of the Imperfects, which,
You need like a straight like love story.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to be typecast either, where it's all demons and, you know.
well, I will say that the next film that we are working on, that I'm starring in, is a story that is a sci-fi epic adventure that does have a love story to it.
Yeah.
So, and that film's called Coven, and it's about a cyber Viking miscreant assassin, and it's he lives in a world of gods called Valor, and what happens is in the storyline that him and the wife, or the future wife, is they want to have a unification, but in this world of the gods, they're not allowed to have unification at all. So they leave their realm to come to the world of Earth, or whatever you want to call it, and now they're being chased as a bounty hunt. So it's almost kind of like a Romeo and Juliet type of thing, but with more of a...
So you have all these projects, interesting concepts. Obviously, you care, and you've invested all kinds of time, money, energy. Here's my question.
Yes.
As an indie producer, director, there's such a glut of content out there. How do you break through and get a quality project seen? Like, for example, I was showing John my Roku, and there's 3,000 channels, and there's hundreds of thousands, literally hundreds of thousands of movies, TV shows. You could endlessly watch content. How do you break through, on a limited budget where people get to see your project?
A lot of times we have done in the past, my production company, we have done our own film festivals.
Okay, great.
And what we do is most of the time we do our own events as an independent source, because I have noticed in my years of experience with submitting films to film festivals, there's always that criteria. Okay, if I make a movie and I spend all this money on it and all that, and if I get rejected by a film festival after I just invested so much money, how am I going to get my work out there? You always have to have your own avenue. You almost have to have your own entrance to get in there. And since I have done my own film festivals, I always invite people from the industry. Say, hey, I'm having a film festival. Archetype Cinema's putting this thing together. I like to invite all film promoters, film festivals, and then that way when they see it, because a lot of times, as both of you guys know, a lot of film festivals have this very strict criteria, very strong, where we can't have this in this movie, we can't have that in this film. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as an artist and all that stuff, we have our own way. You may have your own way of expressing yourself on film. John, you may have a way of you direct your own film that may be black and white, but nobody wants to see it, but it's the most beautiful gift that you ever created. So in my sense of abilities, that I create my own avenues, I create my own events, and I invite them so people can say, wow, I really like your work, and
Right.
I want to work with this individual.
That's actually very clever, yeah.
Self-promotion.
Self-promotion, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, because it is tough out there.
It is.
And what I find amazing, speaking of horror, George Romero has trouble finding funding.
Absolutely, yeah.
Spike Lee had to go to crowdsourcing, crowdfunding. It's tough out there, even for named directors. So when somebody's strictly indie, it's not an easy path.
Oh, yeah.
When we did The Wrestler, it took 7 years from start to finish. And along the way, we had to get the funding, and we did it on $6 million, which is nothing for a nothing these days. And we asked for more, and people don't realize what's involved. I sat there at all these funding meetings, and it's not easy getting money from people.
Absolutely.
And this is with name talent and a world-class director. So imagine. On an indie level, it's a tough road. So I have nothing but respect for indie filmmakers who, basically it's a one-man show. Director, producer, promoter, actor. It's
and like I said, one of my as filmmakers and all that stuff, like I got my favorite actors, and that I was inspired by a lot of famous actors. One of them is Johnny Depp. You know what I'm saying? And Al Pacino and Marlon Brando and obviously Johnny Depp, And as far as directors, I've always been a big Robert Rodriguez fan.
Oh, yeah.
And Quentin Tarantino and And George Lucas.
El Mariachi was done on $8 grand.
$8 grand,
That's
yes.
inspirational.
Yes. And
I'll tell you one of my favorite movies, Once. How great was
Once,
Once?
yeah.
Done on 125,000.
Oh, yeah.
What a tremendous movie.
Right, and you see, and this
Yeah,
is
he
what
hasn't done it since, but that was,
Now, he's done other movies, but he
Oh,
didn't
that's
hit his
good.
big.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
But 125,000, the movie's beautiful, and it won Best Song at the Academy Awards.
No, absolutely.
Well, Aronofsky didn't, his first movie, what was it, Pi?
Yeah,
That
Pi was
made
done on Next to Nothing. He was telling me the story. Basically, he went to every human being he knew, and he said, "Loan me $1,000," and he did it on like 70 grand. And Pi's a tremendous film.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think this would inspire a young filmmaker that you can create art on a budget.
Right, and it was one of the things that Robert Rodriguez said, and he said it in the best way, and he says that if you have stock and you have your resources, you can make a movie about anything. You don't need a budget. You know what I'm saying?
But you mentioned Al Pacino. Al Pacino's made $100 million movies that were absolute crap.
Yeah.
Absolute garbage. So money is not the be all and
Well,
end
but he
all.
didn't, he was involved.
But I'm
in
saying, I'm saying, he appeared in projects that were, how many $100 million movies has Eddie Murphy made
Right.
that you could flush down the toilet and the world wouldn't miss it?
Well, but
Right.
Pacino still made about, let's say, 30 really,
Oh, sure,
absolutely.
sure. But at some point, these guys tarnish their legacy. How many bad movies has Robert De Niro made? Michael Caine, Anthony Hopkins. At some point, you do tarnish your legacy,
Well,
really.
and it's even with like I said, Johnny Depp is one of my favorite actors.
I love Johnny
Yeah,
Depp.
and
seen
there's some-
even the early ones.
Oh, yeah.
I liked them early on.
Oh yeah, and some of them were good, and like some of them were bad, But the thing is, what I like about him is that he sticks out the most because his performances, and he likes to do a lot of avant-garde performance and all that, and that kind of inspires me to do a lot of avant-garde too myself. You have to be creative. You have to think outside the box, and you have to try something new because a lot of times, like I said, going back to Parasitic. There's the alien and zombie thing. Yeah, I love zombies and all stuff, but
But it's
sometimes you have to-
overkill
It's
already,
overkill,
yeah.
and that's why I decided, let's do an alien thing. We'll add a couple. I don't want to reveal too much of the whole franchise, but there will be some other super heroic type individuals making appearances through this whole thing.
Oh, and then you're gonna have the end where it all comes.
Yeah, it all comes together. Yeah.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
So we're looking at 5 different films. There's also a fan film we're also going to be working on in the future. It's a Batman. We're getting into the fan film.
Okay.
So that's that'll be directed by. That's also the director that's directing Coven that I'm starring in, and we're currently in production right now. His name is J.R. Hedrick, and he's the character that portrays Seven in the guy with the 7 in the trailer. And so he's
I'd like to see John with a big 7 tattoo on
yeah,
the
right.
back of
We
his
gotta
head.
shave your head, John.
Yeah.
And so we gotta call you 6 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? you don't be the.
Okay, I have a trivia question for you guys.
Yeah.
What character, what TV show is number 6 from? The Prisoner. Patrick
Oh,
McGowan.
that's
One of the
right.
greatest shows of all time.
The
Number
Prisoner,
6.
that's right.
Patrick McGowan was
Because
number
99
6.
Get Smart,
Yeah.
and there's actually a Seinfeld episode where somebody uses the name 7.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
But 6, I love The Prisoner.
Prisoner is one of the greatest shows of all time.
I
One of the
gotta,
top
I gotta,
5.
I gotta catch up on that.
Never
Oh,
saw The
the-
Prisoner.
I have, it's just been a long.
Oh, yeah, 17 episodes.
Oh, those are
Tremendous.
great,
yeah.
yeah,
Tremendous,
those
yeah.
are great.
It's sad. It's just like how Breaking Bad was. Breaking Bad was just.
I still
incredible.
haven't seen Breaking
Oh,
Bad.
really? It's an incredible show. It's
Yeah.
just,
I think the best show of all time was The Wire, with The Prisoner right up there.
yes.
The Wire was
The
unbelievable.
Wire was phenomenal.
Great
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
For TV, go figure, most TV is so,
what's funny with all of this is sometimes you'll catch up on a show years and years after it's done. Like, I'm still watching Mad Men, I'm not finished with it. I'm still watching West Wing, I'm not finished with
well,
it.
I finally saw, I saw the Larry Sanders Show.
How great was that?
So I saw the end of it, and I loved it so much that I bought it. I started, it's hysterical. It's
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
absolutely, yeah.
it's a total.
He was ahead of
put-on.
his time.
He
Yeah,
sure was.
total
It's hard to
put-on.
believe he's
So-
gone.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
yeah, Gary Shandling. He was good, and it's just I
Oh,
remember when I
really?
saw him in Iron Man 2.
Oh, was Because Rip Torn is one of my all-time favorites.
Torn was also
I love
good.
Rip Torn.
Mickey Rourke was an Iron Man too.
That's right, yeah.
That was his real payday for the wrestler.
Yeah.
He got some good money for that. Yeah. So the premiere's the 19th.
Yes, and like I said, we're going to have some performances. We have a guy by the name of Dan O'Connor. He's in Parasitic as well also, and he's going to be starring in this new film that we're in called Coven. His band Phoenix Street's performing. J.R. Hedrick, the director of Coven, and he's going to work also the future Batman fan film that we'll be working on sometime next year. And he's also, and the guy that portrays Seven in this, in what you saw in the trailer, he will be performing on acoustic performance as well. He's also a musician.
He should have came. He should have come.
Oh, yeah.
We have musicians all the time.
Oh, that's good.
Tell him to come one day.
No, definitely. And we're going to do an actor studio thing with me, which will have, they're trying to get into the head of what creates what's the sanity of how I come up with these projects and all that. And then we're going to showcase Parasitic, and then we got a big surprise, possibly a teaser for the next film that comes after Parasitic.
All right.
Yeah.
So you have a
Terrific.
long, ambitious road in front of
Absolutely,
you.
yeah.
That's great. That's great. And give out any websites, any information you'd like to give out?
Yeah, you can go to the Archetype Cinema page on Facebook. We're currently working on an actual .com site right now, which you'll see a lot of the work and all that. But the majority, you can find us on Facebook.
Okay.
You know, everything now, social media, and you can find me also on. I have a Twitter account, but I'm not active on it. But I am active on Instagram as well, also. So if you want to, follow my information or need any information on the Parasitic premiere, definitely go on the Archetype page on Facebook, and you'll see all the info right there.
There you go. And before we wrap this up, who are some of the, let's say, genre directors that have influenced you?
I guess I would have to say is Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Okay, Robert Rodriguez, because he's a man that's a musician, that he's just, he can take, and you don't need a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing. You don't need a lot of
$8,000.
and it's like $8,000, and look how phenomenal.
We did a documentary on $8,000.
Oh, did you?
But that was a documentary. He did a full-length feature.
Oh, yeah. And, and I got his books, and like I said, just reading those books are very inspiring. And actually, he inspired me to actually come up with some good quotes.
He has a network,
Yeah.
El-Ray Network.
Oh, yeah, and
What I find interesting about the El-Ray Network is he'll have a 70s kung fu flick like Shaw Brothers on primetime TV and treat it as art, and it is art.
No, absolutely, yeah.
I love the old school kung fu flicks.
Oh, yeah. And one thing I always say, I have a quote that I like to say to all artists out there. You know what I'm saying?
Throw it out there.
Every artist, and I say this to all, okay, you are the creator of your own design. Okay? You're the creator of your own design. Show the world who you really are. Make the audience see what you believe in.
Okay, and I'm going to take it a step further, not to belabor a point, but it's not just being an artist, it's being a promoter.
Exactly.
It's going out there, promoting yourself, and relentlessly promoting your art and promoting yourself, because, like I said, there's a million movies out there, there's a million actors out there, so it's not just creating the art. If a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, then it
Right.
doesn't exist.
Exactly. That's
So
the
you
way
could
I-
have the best movie of all time, but people have to know about
Right,
it.
and and a lot of times too, if you're going to be in a film, or if you believe in something, and you're passionate about something, and it came from you from the bottom of your heart, and you created this thing, whether it's a painting, or a song, or in a film, or something I want to show the world.
Absolutely.
I want to show the world that, okay, I thought of this. It came from the bottom of my heart, and you believe in some. If you believe in something, that can come to reality. And I was overweight at one point. I lost 210 pounds.
Wow.
Right? And I always kept saying, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. If you put your mind into something, you could accomplish it.
And I weigh 210 pounds, so play that number.
Yeah,
That's a
see that?
lucky
There you
number.
I was a big man.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying though, like, do what you love. You know, if you love it, and if you're in it, it's like with me. If I have to be if I had a small role, or if I had speaking lines, or even if I didn't, if the premiere was in California or in Mexico,
you get there somehow.
I'm gonna get there. You know, it's like, because I'm proud to be in a film, and I don't. And at this point, I don't care if I was working, if I had to work the weekend or whatever, I would just take the weekend off and say, listen, taking this day off because you know why? I'm gonna go somewhere where I want to be.
We've had million-selling artists like Martha Wash appear on this show, perform on this show, and then we've had indie artists. It's too early. It's too far.
Yeah.
People are where they are for a reason.
Absolutely.
Half of this, I shouldn't even say half. A big part of this is drive. You
Yeah.
have drive. You drove from Connecticut,
Exactly,
taking
right.
a drive. You know, you drove what, 2.5 hours?
2.5
to get here?
hours, yeah, just about 2.5 hours. And-
We've had bands fly in from Australia on this
Oh,
show.
wow, okay, yeah.
So, you know, people have a certain drive and some people don't. And maybe that's what's missing. There's no shame in having an honest, hardworking 9 to 5. But if you're an artist, then, you know, do it with your full heart and soul,
Yeah,
like you're
exactly.
doing it.
You know,
Because
and,
otherwise, then it's not going to happen.
you know, and one thing I will say, you know, was that I used to always hear that you're never going to get nowhere, you know, and you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that. No, I'm going to prove you wrong, because I could do it, and
Yeah.
I can make something
Well,
as real as it can be, you
There's
know.
always gonna be naysayers, because they can't do it themselves, so they project that.
Well, let me take it another
Yeah.
step. You know, John has a background in psychology.
Oh, nice.
If you lost 210 pounds, you're a driven person.
Yeah.
A lot of people would have ate themselves literally to death.
Absolutely,
That's
yeah.
morbid obesity. So you have the drive, you know, it's in your nature, and I have nothing but respect for
No,
that,
so
because some
that-
people will never get that under control.
Yeah, and you know, and like I said, and for me, like I said, it goes back to belief. Belief. If you believe in something, you truly believe in it, you could accomplish anything. You know, belief is your best friend,
Sure,
however you want it. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Sure, you
something that
have
my
to
grandfather used to tell me all the time.
you have to, you know, really, you know, it has to be in your blood,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
you know, then, you know, if you're for real, you gotta, yeah, it has to be, that's what makes it, keeps it going,
Oh, sure.
you know. It's, you know, all the best, I mean, that's exciting.
Right,
There you
definitely.
go. And speaking of great indie artists, we're going to show this video right now of a singer-songwriter who's appeared on this show. And she's country music, which is not my forte. I'm more a R&B, blues, and jazz guy, as you'll see later in the show. But check out this promo, folks, and we want you to support this project. Tremendous artist.
The album is called The Singer, which is a story of a young woman in her 20s experiencing the roller coasters of life.
She never looks lonely. She doesn't appear to breathe. She holds herself with elegance now. She's beautiful, she's strong,
She goes through heartbreak, loneliness, rejection, empowerment, and search for something, which ultimately leads her to finding beauty in herself, and most importantly, the stories of others. I hope you guys like it.
But what if this woman is me? What if she is grieving? Trying to help myself with elegance. I am beautiful, strong, I belong. So you're beautiful, you're strong, you belong.
I'm Brazil and I approve of this message. Okay.
Speaking of indie artists, we're going to review some music videos in just a few moments. But once again, John, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And stay with us. We're going to talk
Okay,
about some music videos
Okay,
and
excellent.
and Nothing But the Best with Parasitic, and I like the title. It's like, the title's scary. You know, if I went to a doctor's office and he said you have a parasitic, I'd be, uh-oh.
Let me ask you this, what do you think of the name Coven?
But that's a witch's coven, no?
No, it's actually spelled Covyn.
Oh,
So
instead of
it's-
En.
Yeah, so it's Coven's a Viking assassin character that I'm
Oh, I see.
portraying in the next
Viking
movie.
assassin
It's not a
character.
takeoff, I guess.
I think movies need more Viking assassin
Yeah, we
characters.
definitely
We
need
don't
that.
have enough of those.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, it's original, you know. I'll tell you, they said that the most common theme in movies, do you know what it is? Revenge.
Yes.
Revenge. Number 2, boy meets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl back. So when you have anything that's original, I'm always impressed.
Absolutely.
Viking assassins, that's
Oh, absolutely.
that's different. That's different. So when we come back, we're going to see some indie music, folks, and this is the eclectic mix known as Legends TV. But first, John, plug your book.
Oh, sure. Thank you. It's called Poems for Everyday People. I'm actually going to read one from it today in addition to some new ones. And if you like it, you can contact me, JONWINELL at Yahoo, at Facebook. And also, you can go on the website McNally Jackson, which is here in the city on Prince Street, and they also you can get a copy that way. I'm working on a second volume, but that's where that stands.
You go on My Book, Apartment 4B, like in Brooklyn, about the turbulent East Flatbush of the 60s and 70s. If you think things are strained today, you didn't survive the 60s and 70s, folks. So, hey, real quick, what do you think of the election, guys?
Can't wait till it's
Yeah,
over.
can't wait till it's over.
Brutal.
I still haven't made a decision yet. you know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm leaning towards one or the other, but I don't know. It's gonna be to me right now. I'm right in the middle right now. I'm gonna make a serious toss up when I get there.
These guys have spent like hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, don't you know who these guys are at this
absolutely.
point?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
do. You know, and like it's the majority is.
They're so distasteful that it's
Distasteful,
hard
it's
to
just-
vote
like-
for Snoopy or Jimi Hendrix or Frank Zappa for president.
Vote for the guy with the 7 tattooed on his head.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
7
That's
for
right.
parasitic should be president.
That's
you know, so
right.
yeah, would vote for him. You know.
That's
I
right.
mean, it might almost be as the same. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, the election nightmare is over this Tuesday, and it's almost like the Cubs in Cleveland. It's down to the wire. It's close.
Oh, absolutely.
It's close.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But
Can't say it's boring anyway.
no, I can't say it. You know, I gotta say the past presidential debates, the last 3, I saw every single one. I didn't get a chance to see the vice president one, but I gotta say it was pretty entertaining. Especially the last one. It was kind of like it's like a trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Like a movie. You know, you had the first, second, and third. And the third was kind of like, okay, you know, we're gonna.
That Mike Pence has said some scary stuff also.
Oh, sure, yeah.
you know,
Oh,
it's
man.
funny. I either forgot or I was busy doing something else, so I didn't watch them. But the radio did such recap all day
Oh,
the
yeah.
next day that basically I might as well have watched all 3.
They said the news shows, it's been a boom period for them. They've made so much money because, for a change, these things are drawing
absolutely, yeah.
huge viewership. So they said there's going to be a drastic drop after Tuesday because people are burnt out already.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, maybe for a few days after, you know, because you'll have the post-election interest. But by December, the Christmas holidays,
Everybody
this is
forget
going to be
about it
all
all.
passé because people have had enough.
Oh, yeah. So
Had
we'll either
enough.
see if we're gonna have the first woman in history be a president, or we'll see if a man like Trump.
An outsider.
Yeah, no, sorry, yeah.
What I just want to say one thing. Somewhere in a community, there's a young, idealistic person working for chump change who sincerely wants to help the community, who hasn't taken with both hands like both of these candidates.
No, absolutely.
And that's the person that should be in charge. Somewhere there's a 35, 40-year-old male or female tirelessly working to make their community better from the heart,
Right.
not from the, pay me $300,000 an hour for a speech to Wall Street. And I'm no fan of Trump's either, believe me.
Maybe they all turn out that way with how corrupt everything is. I don't know.
I like Sanders. I like Sanders very much.
Bernie was good. A lot of people.
Oh yeah,
liked
Bernie was
him.
really good, yeah.
But it's ugly. And what I find horrible, and I want to say this publicly, I'm a New York City Jewish liberal.
Oh, okay.
I have many Republican friends. My mom just died. I had Republican friends at my mom's funeral.
Sure.
John was there.
Of course.
Okay? I have Republican,
Sorry about that.
thank you. I have Republican friends who are in interracial marriages, so please don't say they're all racist. That's absurd. Absurd.
Well, of course not. People have different politics.
But I'm just saying,
variety
you
of
get
race.
such venom on both sides. The liberals, they're all deplorable and they're all racist. And then the right wingers, these libtards. Libtards, how politically incorrect is that?
Wow.
Okay? I mean, the venom on both sides.
People
Now, people are people. People
living in tough times,
yeah, but people have to understand that just because you vote a certain way, you don't demonize the other person.
Right.
I mean, come on. I mean, I mean the animosity on both sides. It's not the Civil War,
Yeah, exactly.
but it feels it. It feels it. It feels like this country is divided.
I mean, you look at back in the days.
And that's my political speech for today, folks. Yeah.
And if you look at back in the days, like in the 1900s and the 60s, and we were actually building stuff here in the United States. Everything was made here.
Right.
Socks,
Right.
tooling, clothing, everything was made here in the United States and all
Right.
that. And then of course, what happened? Everything just started kind of going. They all started leaving the country.
But isn't it hypocritical that someone like Trump sends a lot of his work out of the country?
I know.
I mean, come on. That's
right.
a fact.
That's why I said, I'm
When
divided.
you have a Make America Great hat and in the back it says Made in China, it's a little hypocritical, I would say. But anyway, let's get away from this before I lose half of my audience, because we are divided. So anyway, folks, we're going to come back and we're going to see some great indie music videos. We're going to critique them. We're going to discuss them. John's going to do a live poetry set after this very brief commercial timeout. Don't you dare go anywhere.
Welcome to Formula Auto Wash, where every day is a great day for a car wash. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. Sundays 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. Detailing packages for every budget, starting out at $29.99. 100% hand wash and detail centre. Hog's hair and microfiber brushes and mitts. Proudly using Ecolab Blue Coral soaps and waxes. Formula Auto Wash has served the community for over 30 years. Senior discounts all day, every day. Ladies' Day Wednesday, $3 off any wash. Early bird discount Monday through Thursday till 9:30 a.m. Check out our website, formulaautowash.com.
For professional motorcycle transport and towing, think Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. Proudly serving all of Long Island, we feature expert handling and 24/7 service. So send a limo for your toy with Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing.
Galaxy Luxury Coach is a full-service limousine and party bus company. Family-owned and operated, we are an industry leader with over 25 years of experience in providing best-in-class luxury transportation for your special event. Whether it's your precious wedding day, an all-day wine tour out east, your high school prom, that special birthday, or just an amazing night on the town, our professional chauffeurs stand ready to ensure your special event is truly special. Galaxy Luxury Coach has one of the largest and modern party bus fleets in the New York area. Our party buses are simply nightclubs on wheels. Concert sound systems, light shows, lasers and strobes, multicolor LED lighting brilliantly lights your party bus inside and out. For corporate and more laid-back events, we will cater to your specific needs and requests. What sets Galaxy aside from all others in the luxury transportation industry is our attention to detail in customizing our services to your special event. At Galaxy, it's all about you and your guests. Galaxy customers return time and time again because they know they can trust Galaxy to help deliver those lifetime memorable moments. Step aboard and let your Galaxy experience begin.
We are back with Legends TV, and we were chatting during the commercial, politics, arts, everything else, and you wanted to mention something.
Yeah, so, talking about inspiration and all that, like I said, the movie I'm going to be starring in called Coven, this is where I dropped 210 pounds to be for this character. I also had to go for the Viking look. So I did was one of these numbers right here, where I actually shaved the side of my head, all sides of my head to kind of go for that.
You're dedicated to your art.
Absolutely, yeah.
Method acting.
Yeah. And actually on Halloween, while I was promoting the Parasite premiere, I was dressed in full character gear, which I'll show you guys later in the picture. I actually went into Bertucci's. I went into the mall, all different types of restaurants, dressed as this character, and everybody's like, "Wow, who are you? I like that, where are you from?" And I said, no, it's a film that I'm going to be starring in, and part of it is based on the series Fractured Dimensions, and the first film was Parasitic, which November 19th, and how these people I talked to were like, we're there.
Wow. I got a tough one for you. Someone says we want you as the romantic lead, you have to cut your hair, shave your beard, you going to do it?
If there's a price to pay, and the money's right,
Right.
we can talk to my agent.
Okay. Anyway, folks, this is a segment that we enjoy doing, showcasing a great indie artist, and our friend Oliver Shawn in England sent us one of his artists. She is Camille, and this is Love is Standing by My Side. Check it out, see what you think. Folks, this is live TV. This is live TV for better and worse. We just had some tech issues, so what we're going to do is go to the next video, which is Niaz.
I can't live this life without you. I can't live my life without you. Don't wanna live this life without you. I can't live. I know you love me. That's why I'm standing here with you today for sure. I feel I found someone who's meant for me, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Been waiting for so long, not just to have someone, but be complete. And you are the answer to my prayers. You are the answer to every single prayer. I can't live this life in this world of lies. And you are my strength when I'm growing tired. I need you in my cipher.
And I need you, boy, to breathe for me.
I need you in my cipher.
I need you just to breathe.
Breathe without you. I need you in my world, in my life.
Boy, breathe. Boy, breathe. Just breathe for me. Breathe for me.
Can't live without you, live without you.
I can't live
Without you, without you, without you.
All right, we are back, and that's Niaz, who appeared on the show. A super nice guy, and personally, I love R&B, and guy has a beautiful voice, smooth sound, nicely shot video. What'd you think, John?
Yeah, very smooth, very tasty, very relaxing. You know, it's a whole different kind of genres. Kind of got like that smooth jazz and the R&B and pop. It's very. I enjoyed it. Very relaxing.
There you go. And John, what'd you
And you
think?
can dance to it.
Yeah, well, it's a slow dance.
I'm
Yeah,
just
John.
kidding,
Yeah.
For me, the cinematography was very good, and
Okay.
very peaceful, very peaceful, and like a very positive, peaceful message. He's got a beautiful voice, I gotta say.
All right. And we're going to go to one of our favorites. I did tell John we're going to do this, but this is one of the greatest artists to ever walk the face of the earth, Bobby Rush, live. Check this out, folks.
Hey, y'all. I said, hey, y'all. Every time I leave home, come back, my so-called friends always talking about Bobby Rush. I saw your woman doing whatever while you were gone. I just said, hold it. If they were really my friend, they wouldn't be talking about what they saw her do. They would tell her, don't do old Bobby Rush like that. I heard a lady said the other night, child, my husband didn't give me but $150 this week. Another lady said, that was my husband. Didn't give me but $150. I'd have thrown her back and even got a divorce. But the woman was saying that she don't have no main money or no husband. She just wants you to leave so she can move in and get what you got. Look in your friend's face and tell her what I told my friend. Friend, hear what I said. I said, ain't stepped yet. Hey, friend, ain't stepped yet. Some folks say my woman love me. Some folks say she don't. It don't make no difference just as long as I'm getting what I want. Ain't stepped yet. Let me say it again. Ain't stepped yet. If y'all think I'm gonna leave my woman, cause what somebody said, you got to be crazy and out of your doggone head. Ain't steady yet. Let me say it again, y'all. Ain't steady yet. Somebody had the nerve that said, Bobby Rush, you got 4 kids, but one of them don't look like you. Let me tell you about that. Can I tell you about it? Well, it ain't but the one thing to make me so happy. I got 4 kids, say for 3 mine, but the other one still call me Pappy. Ain't steady yet. Could have been mine, I've been there. Ain't steady yet. Me and my woman got 4 little kids. I'm a dad of only 3. They say if I feed the other one long enough, they said, He start looking like me. I ain't studying yet. Let me say it again, y'all. Ain't studying yet. See, my daddy done told me to leave the girl alone. Mama done told me to. Making love to a woman built like this could be the death of you. I looked at my mama, looked at my daddy, didn't crack a smile. If this good thing a woman got killed me, shit, I don't mind dying. Ain't studying. Let me say it again. Ain't studying. If you think I'm gonna leave my woman, what somebody said, you got to be crazy and out of your damn head now. Ain't studying. Let me say it again, y'all. Ain't studying. Somebody had the nerve to tell me, said, Bobby Rush, so you ain't nothing but a henpecked dude, no way. Well, hey fellas, I'm not a henpeck. I just been pecked by the right hen. You know what I said, brother? I said, I'm not a henpeck. I've been pecked by the right hand. You know what I said? I said, eat your heart out, sucker. I know you wish it were me. Look at it. Look at it. I said, hot damn, look at it. Look at it how it moves. Look at it how it moves. It moved like it got sense. You like that, don't you, brother? You like that? You like that? You like that? Well, your eyes may shine and your teeth may grit, but ain't a damn thing up here you gonna get. I'm not a henpeck. I'm not a henpeck. Look at it. I said, hot damn, look at it. When you see it moving like that, damn thing be talking to me. I said, when you see it moving like that, it's talking to me. What it says, none of your damn business is talking to me. Not only can it talk, it can sing too. You don't believe it can sing? You don't believe it? Sing for. Ah! I've been pecked by the right hand. Been pecked by the right hand. How about a hand for the him? Low. Young thing. Young thing. I love young hens. Let me tell you why. A young hen can lay an egg. Let me say that again. I said a young hen can lay an egg 3 times a day. But an old hen, every now and then. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about them. That's an old hen. That's an old hen. I don't like no old hen. I don't like no old hen. Let me tell you why. Old hen smell like liniment in the morning. Old hen. Old hen smell like snuff. Old hen get down, but they can't get up. Old hen can't get the legs too high. This is an old hen. And another thing about an old hen can't move because they be too stiff. Shit, I changed my damn mind. I like this old hen. This old hen, her name must be Stella. She got her groove back. But I know what the old hen need. Old hen need an old rooster. How damn she gonna lay an egg in the morning? It's egg time now. Go get her in the first nest. I'll be right there in about 5 minutes. How about a hand for the old hen? What a hen.
The genius of Bobby Rush. I love that man with all my heart. 83 years old. What'd you think, John?
Well, what's the phenomenon of Bobby Rush? There's nothing on the planet like Bobby Rush. It's surreal and raunchy and fun and real blues. It's like from another time.
Blues, R&B, funk. It's a combination of everything, and they call him the king of the Chitlin circuit. There's not a lot of guys left like him.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, Lattimore, Denise LaSalle is still out there. There's not a lot of
great energy, very youthful performer for 83. You know, it's like a man half.
He looks like he's 60.
Yeah, and he performs like a 40-year-old, and one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to meet.
How long did he play at B.B. King's? 2 hours easy, right?
At least 2 hours.
83 years old. And I'm not talking seated in a chair. This guy's all energy, right?
In the end, he sat down, and that was also, so in addition to doing that, he still can turn back and do that old-timey blues, which is just as great.
Oh, if I become 83 years old, I hope I can be just as good as him when I get to that age.
A lot of guys 83, they're at the senior center playing cards. This guy's on stage for 2 hours.
I know.
And he does the moonwalk at one point.
Wow.
He does,
yeah, what a performer. So what'd you think?
Phenomenal. For 83 years old, I gotta say, do vampires really do exist in this world?
Yeah.
You know, it looks like he's been cryogenically frozen. Hasn't aged at all, you know what I'm saying? So
Reminds me of Blackula, William Marshall, American International Pictures. All right. So what are some of your favorite horror, sci-fi movies?
Well, for horror films, I'm definitely a man of the classics. I like the original Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Friday the 13th, you know. So, you know, definitely Nightmare on Elm Street, too. You know what I'm saying? I also like Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraiser, you know. As far as sci-fi.
The early Hellraisers, some of the director-videos were
some of the directors are so-so.
Yeah.
As far as sci-fi, I was brought up and always been a Star Wars fanatic. I'm a Star Wars geek, you know, so...
So you like the new one was good.
And as far as like sci-fi, definitely Blade Runner. You know, 2001: Space Odyssey.
There's going to be a new film that's supposed to be an update on Blade Runner. I forget who's doing it. I just saw the actress is coming to town. I forget. Can't remember, but if it's possible.
Yeah, Blade Runner is, I think it's called Blade Runner 2042 or something like that. So it's
no, it's a different title. No. I read those stories of Philip K. Dick. Those are two androids dream of sheep or something like that.
Yeah.
But so as far as like sci-fi and horror, obviously Aliens.
How about Cronenberg? You like Cronenberg?
Cronenberg, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great Cronenberg.
I have a question for both of you guys. How important is expectation when watching a movie? I'll give you an example. I had never seen Halloween 4 and 5 because I heard they were mediocre at best. So I'm watching Halloween 4 the other night on AMC, and my expectations were very, very low, and I'm sitting there going, I've seen worse than this. I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, So you're talking about Doctor Strange during the break. So now my expectations are high because everybody's saying it's really, really good. I mean, how important is expectation when watching a movie?
Well, you can be disappointed. I mean, I try to go in, I won't even read reviews anymore. I just go and show up.
Judge it yourself.
And, you know, and then after the fact, I've read reviews and I've seen that they were wrong.
Right.
Or they had a difference of opinion, or they missed something. You can't go in. You should go in with no expectations and just let it happen. I mean, I see, God knows, I've seen thousands of movies. And, you know, I try to go in, even ones that I've already seen, I try to see, okay, I'm going to revisit this like it's a new thing, even though I know. And even then, sometimes I'll see things that I never saw before. Right. And it's great. I mean, sure. I just love, me personally, I love the experience of the movies. I don't even mind seeing bad movies just to go to the movies. Yeah. Well, the horror stuff I've been watching, what was The Evil Dead, like Bruce. I love that they're hysterical. They are fantastic. They're so much fun.
I just watched The Grand Duel with Lee Van Cleef. I love spaghetti westerns, and it was one of the better ones. I wouldn't call it great. It's one notch below, but it's worth seeing. Grand Duel.
Speaking of spaghetti western, I saw one from Quentin Tarantino called The Hateful Eight.
How was it?
Oh.
And I gotta say, definitely Quentin Tarantino style, but the way it was filmed, cinematography, absolutely beautiful. Yeah. It was shot on high 70 millimeter.
His movies are beautifully shot. Yeah, I'll give him that.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't see that, but I know that they're beautifully shot.
I'll tell you something funny. When I watch a Tarantino film, I'm a big fan of kung fu and spaghetti westerns. I know which scenes he borrowed from which movie. I know because I've seen most of them. So I grew up on the same stuff he grew up on. So yeah, definitely.
You don't have the same entourage though. He's got a great entourage.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't have a parasitic entourage. I just have one poet here.
All those beautiful women that seem to.
Oh, we had a scream queen here the other week. A friend of mine, Debbie D. You know Debbie D?
Debbie D. Yeah.
Yeah, she's good people. Good people. So, and speaking of good people, we want to thank Solomon Shertalk for connecting us.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Solomon Shertalk for connecting us. I'd like to also thank the people, the staff and crew of Archetype Cinema, the cast of Parasitic. That we got a lot of stuff coming down the road. Even the new film Coven. Also, Solomon Shertalk is also going to be starring in as well too. And and the rest of my friends, family, and loved ones, and that are out there. Thank you for inspiring me, and and I'm very thankful to be on your show, and it's an honor to be here.
My pleasure. And I just want to say that it's very important to surround yourself with supportive people, and it should be mutual support, not just one-sided, but supportive people who believe in your dreams and goals.
Absolutely.
Because I've seen many times somebody is passionate about something, the boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife doesn't feel the same way.
Right.
You're wasting too much money, you're spending too much time away from me, and it's not easy. People have no idea. We did a documentary, full-length documentary. The editor put 3,000 hours into it. And there's no real money in documentaries.
Well, absolutely not.
So you have to be passionate and dedicated to something. And sometimes your loved ones don't quite get it. And I'm not saying to be so obsessive that you're mortgaging and losing the house and things like that, but at the same time, believe in somebody's dream and stand by their side.
At least support them, don't.
Yeah. Don't work against them.
Exactly.
Right, which is usually, if you're lucky,
Yeah, and whatever you do, I always say be the creator of your own design.
That's right. That's right. So when we come back, we're going to have a poetry set from John Winnell, and this is the eclectic mix known as Legends TV, and we'll be right back after this very brief commercial timeout. Don't you dare go anywhere.
Welcome to Formula Auto Wash, where every day is a great day for a car wash. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. Sundays 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. Detailing packages packages for every budget, starting out at $29.99. 100% hand wash and detail centre. Hog's hair and microfiber brushes and mitts. Proudly using Ecolab Blue Coral soaps and waxes. Formula Auto Wash has served the community for over 30 years. Senior discounts all day, every day. Ladies' Day Wednesday, $3 off any wash. Early bird discount Monday through Thursday till 9:30 a.m. Check out our website, formulaautowash.com.
For professional motorcycle transport and towing, think Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. Proudly serving all of Long Island, we feature expert handling and 24/7 service. So send a limo for your toy with Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing.
Galaxy Luxury Coach is a full-service limousine and party bus company. Family owned and operated, we are an industry leader with over 25 years of experience in providing best-in-class luxury transportation for your special event. Whether it's your precious wedding day, an all-day wine tour out east, your high school prom, that special birthday, or just an amazing night on the town, our professional chauffeurs stand ready to ensure your special event is truly special. Galaxy Luxury Coach has one of the largest and modern party bus fleets in the New York area. Our party buses are simply nightclubs on wheels. Concert sound systems, light shows, lasers and strobes, multicolor LED lighting brilliantly lights your party bus inside and out. For corporate and more laid-back events, we will cater to your specific needs and requests. What sets Galaxy aside from all others in the luxury transportation industry is our attention to detail in customizing our services to your special event. At Galaxy, it's all about you and your guests. Galaxy customers return time and time again because they know they can trust Galaxy to help deliver those lifetime memorable moments. Step aboard and let your Galaxy experience begin.
Welcome to Formula.
All right, so right now I'd like to introduce a man of myth and legend, and he's ready to say a bunch of legendary poems. Let's hear it for John Winnell.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to start with one from the book and some new ones. And thank you for all tuning in. Thanks, Evan, and thanks, Legends, and everything. Okay, so this is called Take Heed from the Night. Take heed from the skin of night, its cruelty like a disease seeping within the blood, like dragon's spit. I listened to last gasps of crisp daylight near the window, opened cracked diagonal sliver, as street lamps quiet reflects along the bedroom's chipped ceiling. Your mouth inviting, words that float above the silence, my paralysis like Siberian midnight, frozen that lingers as smoke. The scent of coconuts as spiders emerge from the garden to offer kisses to neighborhood flowers. I'm lost in tenderness, now collapsed, a time-trapped morsel held as amber in suspended animation. Layers below the surface, like a submarine, falling and rising, dancing beneath the waves. Here are some new ones. This is about coming to terms with things, and they call it bitter ivy. Vines climb edifices, curved glass, seeking light. days lose color, darkening earlier, as this liquid stone emigrates deep within the equinox towards imminent solstice and rebirth. Time has cast impressions upon our memories, bitter ivy laden with sour fruit. How we forget graceful hands that salved our wounds, scattered shadows that held court in our dreams. For only kindness stirs the stars and frees them from bonds of sorrow. This is also a new one, Coming to Terms with Things. And this is called, or really finding who you are. It's called To Have Awoken from a Dream. To lie in curious splendor, nestled amidst these linens, sun-blemished by gray clouds, wondering what the nightbird has spoken to the wind. For Solomon stated, all is vanity, and even now this is true. Truth has spun centuries' tapestries with its blood. Eyes cast upon false enterprises soon lose their slumber on frigid days, or those when the sun doesn't embark on its pleasant journey. In the comfort of my solitude, anxiety and sadness reemerge. Years of fighting imaginary dragons, windmills of the soul, seem departed, if only momentarily. For in this lucid span, when all falls silent, even whirlpools cease spinning. The impoverishment of isolation has proven false. Only when claiming these weaknesses can one truly recognize the strangeness of things and accept the glory of the world's gifts. Let the play begin. This is called Cold Afternoon. Rain-swept memories collide on windows and faces. Each brush of leaf and wind contains the city in rustic augury. The quiet whispers beneath a willow, whilst time sleeps within a gray wash of light. Autumn's breath captivates, embraces with its chill, the rasping colors of sadness, desperate longings for comfort and warmth, bedraggled friendships dangling like wooden scarecrows. Witches churn their brew, casting spells and visions upon this flagrant town. Who shall rise and fall this oncoming night when the moon grows black and sprouts a lion's mane? This is a contemporary theme that's unfortunate. It's kind of a comment on the ever flux of migrants. And I was inspired by, I woke up this earlier and they were chopping down this tree. I guess there's a lot of this blight in these maple trees. So it inspired this poem. And it's called The Cutting of Trees. Local trees corrupted with the blight of time, infected roots torn from age-old soil as migrants crossing borders, carrying souls across their backs in bales of mixed silver and old clothes. The chainsaw's power cutting bark and sinew, disease and sadness filled, now bagged as soil, enlivening mulch with nutrients, knowledge, and the kisses of sorrow. The sun in its ever-present majesty sprinkles light upon all dispossessed, forever offering comfort. How many drowned or broken from this pilgrimage, the infirmed and holy, innocent and noble, all shadows in search of grace. And I want to end on this piece also from the book called Bloodied Lips. And once again, thanks Evan, thanks Madhouse, thanks Legends TV, and to John DePriest Anthony, and Parasitic up and coming. Please keep a lookout. Bloodied Lips. The glass in my hand, cold, strident, casts an anxious reflection. Time-weary carved crevices, a glance in the mirror, the afterglow of blood-caked lips, an eternity of looking, hallowed nothingness, echoes, clouds in winter, storms in my head, torn by wind, soft bodies of dust fade in memory, as letters left in the rain lose all meaning. Thank you.